Welcome, travelling friends of Australia. We are Willem and Anneke, and we hope you enjoy this episode of our podcast,
where we have a chat to other travellers and give them the opportunity to tell their stories and share the tips that they've learned along the way. Hi guys, for today's episode we have got Locky and Ree, the Traveldeens. And yeah, we're really excited to talk to them. They've got another dynamic that we haven't spoken to before, with their family traveling full time, and let's see what they have to say.
Hi Ree and Locky, how's it going?
You're up north, hey?
Well, we were up north. We've just come home today to Toowoomba.
Okay. It's actually been all week. We've been coming up for 5 days, so it's been a trip, but yeah.
We had a little secret mission.
Yeah, wanting to know more about you guys. So
who is? Tell us a bit about who is Ree and Locky then.
We'll go back a long way actually. So Rihanna and I both grew up in a little, well, it's not really little, but a smaller country town in Western Queensland called Roma. It's about 500 kilometres west of Brisbane. And we both grew up out there, and we sort of knew who each other were for.
You don't tell them our whole dating.
Probably most of our lives, but never really had anything to do with each other until we were adults. So yeah, but we met up later on when we were both actually living in Toowoomba at the time, and ended up being Locky and Ree from there, I suppose.
Cool. And what do you guys do for work? Well, yeah.
I was a hairdresser before I had the kids, and now I'm just like a mum. And Locky works FIFO, not oil and gas rigs. Yeah.
Okay, and you have kids. What are the ages of your kids?
I've been married previously, and I've got two older boys with my first wife. Then when her and I separated and Rihanna and I got together, we've had two children together since then. So there's four children all up there.
So 6 of you is travelling together?
No. There's 4 of us travelling full time, and the two older boys, they've just started high school, so they come to our school holidays, long weekends, whenever I can get them there when I'm home, yeah.
It's full house.
Pretty full house, yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. We only have the 2 and we're already running around, you know?
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, the 2 older boys are much easier.
Yeah, the 2 older boys are pretty easy. Actually, it's good when they come because they give us a hand with the little ones a bit, so.
Yeah, that's always handy.
Kick them all outside first thing in the morning and enjoy a coffee and a bit of peace and quiet, which is good.
Yeah.
That actually sounds good.
Yeah. So what sort of setup do you guys run when you normally go out? So you're traveling full time, is that it?
Yeah. Yep. So we've got a 6.5 metre Coromel Princeton. It's an older van, but it's got solid bones and it was in really good condition when we bought it. Only had one owner before us.
Yeah.
And that was an older couple, and they did a lap of Australia, and then it sort of just sat around until they decided they didn't want it anymore. So they sold it through a dealership to us, and we renovated it. And when I say renovated, we didn't really do too much. We put a new floor in it, put a diesel heater in, changed out one bench seat for a set of bunks.
It looks completely different.
It does look completely different. Rihanna redid all the windows and blinds and everything, so it looks quite modern now, which is nice. So went from the old wood grain style to a fresh, bright white and with black trim. So yeah,
modernised it a bit.
Yeah, absolutely modernised it. Yeah. So we upgraded the solar as well, and the storage areas in it. So we've got bulk storage and massive solar now, so we can be off grid for 3 or 4 days, no problems. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
So apart from your bunk bed that you sort of customise, what sort of other special setups do you have that you don't think normal people might have?
I don't know. We went away from the 3-way fridge just to a 12-volt 240 style with a twin compressor, which I think's probably once your solar's sorted out and you've got enough amp hours in your batteries to run it, I think's a lot better. It just doesn't take as long to cool down when you load it up, or the kids opening and closing it so much. So that's a bonus there, I think. But as far as different setups, we don't have a great deal that separates us from anyone else. Like a lot of people that we've met are sort of similar. They got their own little knick-knacky things
You learn
they
your
do.
little things as you go along. But one thing we did do is take out our dining table.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because it was just a pain. And, you know, you're shuffling around it and you don't use it all the time. So we decided to take it out and use it as like a play space for the kids and, you know, just a little bit more room for them of a morning.
Not that they use it, they just get into bed with us, like you said, but
pretty much.
Yeah, it's actually we hear it actually quite a lot that people take out their tables to make more space in the van, you know.
Especially with kids, because you want that room to move.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And if it's ever raining and we need to, we just bring our outdoor one in anyway.
Yeah.
So, but that's probably, I don't know, that's probably about it, really. We're probably just.
Yeah. We put the diesel later in. That was a really good move because we were stuck in Warwick, which is I don't know, maybe 100 kilometres southeast of Brisbane. We're stuck in Warwick at the start of the COVID pandemic, and it was freezing. It was about -3 in the morning, so I'm really glad I put that diesel heater in.
Yeah.
So it's they're unreal. I'll never have much to do with them until I put that one in, but yeah, they're brilliant. So,
yeah, and for the price, they are amazing. Like, they're not that expensive. We have one in our camper trailer, you know, so it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And our whole setup's diesel too. We do run a little generator if we need it every now and then in bad weather, but but everything we got's diesel, so it makes life really easy too. You're not worrying about different fuels and that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, okay. And you guys have always been campers, like, or when did you start camping?
Probably both of them were really young. Like I said, we grew up sort of outback Queensland, so there's not much else to do in outback Queensland other than fishing creeks and camp. So chase pigs around, that kind of country stuff, you know. But it's sort of all our life, mate. I don't remember the first time we went camping, but I do remember a lot of camping.
Yeah, probably more after we had the littlest fellow, we started camping a bit together, but we've always wanted to travel, and we just decided to do it.
When Ree and I first met, we made a bit of a bucket list or wish list of things we wanted to achieve in 5 years, and we did them separately, but we both had on there to travel Australia, or you know, so that was sort of one thing we both wanted. That was a common goal, and we sort of always had the plan there, but never really pulled the trigger on it, you know. And it wasn't until Ree ran into one of her friends one day, and they were having a garage sale and selling everything they owned, and said, you know, we're going for a lap around Australia. And she said, oh, I wish I could do it. And they said, well, do it. And so
they said to me, well, what's stopping you? And I was like, I don't actually know, really. And I went home and was like, can we just do it? We worked it out, figured out we could just do it.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, nice. I think a lot of people see that, you know, just do it. They think they can't do it, but then that's why we want to make this podcast, you know, show a lot of people that it is possible. There's so many different ways. Like you guys doing, Locky doing FIFO. Some people, the guy's staying at home and she's working online. There's so many different ways. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You just got to find a way, hey?
Yeah. That's what we're planning on doing is we have a online business that we're running, so that'll be funding us next year. So we're looking forward to that. There's a lot of planning still to happen before you get there.
Yeah, for sure. I actually said to Ree today, I'm like ready to send you off to FIFO so we can just go faster.
Yeah, I read that message.
It is tough, like, and especially when Rihanna moves the van and camp without me, and I miss out on things. I get dirty on them. Don't go too far.
We'd have to have a caravan for me to be able to do it because, like with our camper trailer, I would not be able to set that up by myself. So that's
the beauty of the caravan. I can pull up on the side of the road and make the kids lunch, or they can go to the toilet, or I don't have to do anything. I just open the door and in we go. Really, it's pretty good. Towing's the hardest bit, I guess. Reversing.
I guess once you learn it, you'll be right, but
Yeah, learn it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I actually say that Rihanna's better at driving with a caravan on than I am anyway, because
Stop it.
I don't know, it might be a bloke thing, but sometimes you just get a bit carried away what you're doing because you've driven thousands of kilometres with trailers on before you know, but Rihanna knows it's there all the time, where I was a bit carried away singing a song or
I'm scared.
it's up to the kids or whatever, and get a bit blasé with it all, where Rihanna she's conscious that it's there all the time and drives very cautiously. So it's good that she does and knows how to do it too, you know, not even just because it's easy, but for fatigue reasons or whatever, if we had to get somewhere or something, she can take over, and I've got no problems with her doing that, so it's good.
Yeah, I think Anika would be the same. She'd be giving it a shot at least, and then we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
She'll be
My
fine.
thing was I never wanted to be stuck somewhere for the 2 weeks. Like, say I was camped next to people that were a bit creepy or something like that. I would hate to be just stuck there because I had no other choice. I just thought I couldn't have done it if I didn't know how to drive and how to set up and stuff, or I just wouldn't feel comfortable, I don't think, staying by myself with the kids. So
I wanted to go into like, so obviously you guys have got the fly in, fly out. So how does that work with you? Because you can't really lack Australia. You'll have to be somewhere where you can actually get to work really well. So is it driving around that, or do you fly?
Well, my company, we're based in Toowoomba, which is near Brisbane. So I pretty much just can fly from wherever I am to Brisbane and then just catch the bus up to Toowoomba or get a lift with one of the other boys that are flying in same day or same time or whatever. So so far it hasn't worked out too bad. I do predict that once we get sort of Darwin, WA, it may get a little bit trickier with logistics of catching flights on the right day and getting to Toowoomba on time, that kind of stuff. But
he may have to leave a day earlier.
My work not that they're going out on a limb by any means, but they've sponsored us to travel, not financially or anything like that, but they put their name on and said, yeah, we're happy for you to do it and promote us and whatever. So we've got a little bit of a souvenir and word of mouth deal with them guys. So I do think that that'd be a little bit lenient. Should I have to cross over half a day or something like that too? So it wouldn't be a big drama if we got jammed up somewhere.
As long as the airport flies into Brisbane, we're good, basically. And we try not to plan too far ahead, which would make it easier financially if we did. But you don't want the pressure to have to be somewhere. We like to find somewhere that we love and stick around, or we like to keep moving if we don't like it. Or
you guys aren't racing around Australia. You're just living around Australia.
We kind of did have a 12-month plan to go around, but that blew out the window when it took us 9 weeks to get 800 kilometres. So we just thought, oh, well, you know, like 12 months we're never going to make it around 12 months. And then COVID sort of blew it out of the water as well. So we just decided we're just going to travel indefinitely, and we'll get to where we get to, and if we can't finish it off, we'll do it later on.
Yeah, just take it slow.
Yeah, for as long as the kids are doing well with their schooling, and and it's not too much work for the older boys at home. You know, look, we normally have a pretty good shared custody deal with them guys, but this has sort of made the separation and distancing a little bit harder with them too. So we don't get to see them quite as much. So, but as long as that keeps rolling and we can still have good communication with them and keep everyone happy on with both families, and then we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. My question that I remembered now. So with so you're away, you obviously miss the kids those couple of days when you're away, but then Ree, when you have the kids, so how do your normal days look, like school days, or do you go out a bit, and what do you do when he's away?
Well, when he's away, generally I'll find somewhere to base myself, and we'll stay for maybe a week. This last time I stayed at Airlie for a week, and then I potted off to Bowen and made my way out to Townsville. If we're sitting still, we'll hop up, do the brekkie thing, get dressed. We'll usually go for a walk of a morning, and then we'll do whatever the kids allow with schooling, basically. I try not to push Sailor too much. She's a good little learner and she loves school, so I try to just base it around her moods. If she's had enough for the day, I'm like, rightio, no worries, that's it. You finish your page or finish your activity, make sure that's finished off, and I'm happy to call it a day, because she does make it pretty easy most of the time. But we don't sit there for 6 hours and drill it into her or anything like that. We just sort of will do what we need to do with the reading, writing, whatever. And she usually does a journal when we get to somewhere new as well, and writes a little bit about it, draws a little picture, whatever. And yeah, then we'll go out for the day usually. We'll either stick around and play at the playground with, if there's other kids there, or we'll go and do a little bit of exploring. And that's probably where Sailor learns the most, is when we're out and about. So that's another reason I don't really push it. It's just she learns so well when we're out and about that it's just not that necessary. Yeah,
they do come out of their shell, and they do like learn to experience things, you know, differently than just being at home or being at school and being taught. It's different than experiencing stuff. So
and she was a bit of an anxious little shy little girl before we left. Like, she had her little mates at school, and that's about it. Whereas now she scopes out other vans as they drive in and sees if they've got the bunk windows, stalks them out, and then she'll just walk up and say, "Hello, I'm Sailor. Did you want to be my friend today?" And that's huge for us, and that was something that I thought that she'd miss out on, was the social side of school. I ummed and ahed about whether we were doing the right thing for her, because she was such a shy kid. And after a month on the road, I was like, Jesus, she's just a different kid. Amazing for her.
Wow.
awesome.
Any interesting stories you might share with us or the viewers?
And we do have an interesting. We actually listened to your original podcast earlier today, and you said you'd asked about stories and that. And I've been trying to think all the way home an interesting story. Rihanna's going to explain to you the story of her losing her engagement ring.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Rihanna.
So Lockie's work was fairly rained out. We had a fair bit of rain. I can't remember.
It was earlier in the year, probably January, February,
Yeah, we had a fair bit of rain. Lockie didn't have a lot of work going on, which just happens with FIFO work. And he got offered a little bit of work at his friend's parents' property, dozer driving. So we were like, cool, all for the experience. Let's go and do it. They let us bring the van and the kids out, and we hung out at the station, and Lockie done his work. And we came over at lunchtime to bring him some food, and it had been raining. It was pretty wet, and I called Lockie on the two-way and said, like, where do I go? I think I'm lost. And he said, oh no, I think I can see you over there. Just come straight through there. And I was like, I think it's pretty wet through there. Hey, I don't think I should go through that. I'm a bit of a cautious four-wheel driver. And he said, you'll be right, just do it. And I'm like, okay. So I went through, and I got so bogged. I could barely open the door. I nearly had to climb out the window. I was in a different spot to where Lockie actually thought that I was.
Oh no.
So
she drove straight through the water table in the middle of a cold paddock.
But it did look a little bit wet.
So a misunderstanding there.
Deep and slushy silt in the bottom of it, so you can imagine what my car looked like.
Oh,
but because I'm all about getting out there, I thought I'd have a go and dig myself out a little bit. And then Lockie ended up coming and saving the day. I didn't dig us out. And probably a day later, I realised my engagement ring was missing.
Oh.
And we went back to the mud pit and couldn't find it anywhere. And I was really upset. Lockie was really nice about it. He said he'd buy me a new one. No worries. Anyway, I was a bit distressed about it. We were out near our hometown, and I put on Facebook, does anyone have a metal detector? Because we could not find it anywhere. So that was cool. One of our good family friends borrowed us hers, and I came out and had a look for it, and it was nowhere to be found. And I'd just given up, and I was walking to the car crying, as you do. And I just thought I was just having a little swipe as I went, just to see if there was anything else that come up, and it went ding, 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 and it was my ring.
Oh, wow.
So it was nowhere near.
Was
it was nowhere near where the. It was nowhere near where the car was or where I was digging out or anything. But I'd say I had some mud on my hand and I flicked it off. So it was a bit of a miracle. Anyway.
Yeah. So that was a
that
happy
was
ending to that story.
So now we now travel with a metal detector, and that's my new hobby.
Yeah, nice.
Your hobby, that's cool.
I don't love getting bogged, but I like to find things in the mud. But
I couldn't even be cranky about her losing the ring, because at least she had to go trying to get out of the mud, right? So
yeah.
Before, which was a good one, anyhow. So
I don't know.
Other stories. Oh, there was that one where I nearly dropped our baby over a 40-foot waterfall.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty scary. So,
I don't think you should advertise that then.
Yeah.
It wasn't 40 foot, it was more like 38, 37, something like that. But I was carrying my son on my hip. He's 2 years old.
On the border of New South Wales.
Yeah, this is on the New South Wales Queensland border, and there's an Aboriginal heritage site with waterfalls and stuff in it. So we pulled in to have a look, and it had been raining sort of all night, and we were standing right on the edge of the falls, and there's a little bit of water running over some rocks on the side. And I said to Rihanna, I'm going to go over here and take a photo. And she said, don't walk over there with that baby. And I said, don't tell me what to do. And I took one step and slipped, and I smashed my knee into a rock. That hard, I thought I'd broken my leg. Dropped my baby in the water. He didn't go anywhere. He wasn't. He was still in my arm, but I smashed my elbow, so I couldn't hold on to him. And Rihanna was yelling at me to give her the baby before he goes over the edge, which I did kindly. And I couldn't walk for about 4 or 5 days after that because I had a smashed knee, and baby was all right. Didn't hurt him at all.
Yeah.
And now he listens to me.
And now I don't walk on slippery rocks at waterfalls.
So now that you've shared some good stories of locations, so do you have any favourite locations or bucket list locations that you want to go and see?
Yeah. Probably the most livable, like somewhere that I could see myself living, would be Yeppoon. I loved Yeppoon. And so
far, we say so far.
So far.
We've still a lot to see, right?
Yeah. And somewhere that I would love to get to eventually is the Ningaloo Reef. Probably like everybody else who travels, really.
Yeah, I think I've travelled a lot of when I say travelled, I've flown into nearly every airport Australia's got, but I've definitely worked in every state other than Tasmania and seen a fair bit of the towns and that, but I've never really stopped and taken in the countryside. I had a look around. You know, I spent 6 years in the Australian desert working out there doing 2 and 2 rosters. So you sort of see a lot of places, but don't really see them at the same time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Being a country boy, I love the raw earth and trees and stuff like that more so than the beaches and that, but I also love fishing. So probably for me, up around the Kimberleys and that kind of area, I'd love to spend a bit of time up there and just take it all in and feel it all, you know. So, yeah, I think probably most people's targets would be up there too, you know, like the Kimberleys and Northern Territory, WA, all the beautiful white beaches over there. They're magnificent. So, yeah.
We just love fishing. So we pretty much go where the fish are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of nice fishing spots here in WA when you get here. But I've heard a lot of good things about Yeppoon, so that's definitely on our list. So
Yeah. No, it's a nice little place.
Yeah. So I think I've asked most of the questions. Is there anything you guys want to add in?
I suppose for people wanting to travel and thinking about it, and as I said earlier, we listened to your original cast, and most people you've spoken to said just do it, you know, just get it together and go. But I mean, there is a lot of time and thought goes into it. And
it's not always that easy.
It's not always that simple for some people. Like they prefer to save up and get all their ducks in a row, that kind of thing. Where for us, we sort of had the option to just sell up and go.
Yeah.
Which was good, but we also lived the lifestyle that allowed us to do that. A lot of people would have to leave their jobs and
we didn't have to make any major
changes
to work and those sort of things.
But yeah, for people wanting to travel, that think that it's a big daunting decision, it's not as expensive as living at home. Nowhere near as expensive as living in a house and doing your daycare and your school and going to work and fuel and all that sort of stuff. It's nowhere near as expensive as a lot of people think that it would be.
Especially if you're moving slow.
Yeah, I think your initial expenses of buying a van or setting up whatever you need to set up, or your tow vehicle or whatever, that's probably your biggest one. So if you can do that over a span of time, if your budget allows you to do it,
leave with what you've got.
Then make a long-term plan to leave and set yourself up when you're ready to go. You'll be saving dollars. So, it's not always just as simple as let's just do it and go. I know a lot of people say that, and that's definitely my attitude on it. If you want to do it, just do it. But I know some people's finances don't allow them to do that. But don't be scared of making the decision to do it, I think.
Yeah, I think when people ask us, we'll tell them we just got up and and just decided to do it, and we did it. But you're right. There is a lot of planning and preparation and getting things in order before you leave. I agree.
Yeah, and there's a lot of doubt in those first few weeks before you leave, those last few weeks before you leave, and the first few weeks that you do leave. You don't just get on the road and it's a big holiday. It's like very scary to leave your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But our sort of thing is, what's the worst that can happen? We hate it. We'll come home, we'll sell the van. We can even downgrade the car if we need to. Though we'd feel like our throat was cut if we did that. But if we needed to, we could come home, sell the van, and go back to the normal life thing. So
I think also people think they're going to travel just one direction. They can't come back to, So
we've been
if you get a couple of months on the road and feel like you need to go back for something, go back.
Yeah.
Spend 2 weeks sitting at a campground in your hometown if you need your friends and family. Or
100%.
We were lucky enough at the beginning of the year. We knew we weren't taking off for a couple of months, so we did a couple of test trips and just all sort of northern New South Wales. And
we did originally plan to go down south. We were kind of planning to be maybe Tasmania, but definitely down to Victoria, and then we were going to head up north from there. And obviously the bushfires hit, so that was the first thing that that sort of caused problems with us. And that was where we went, well, does it really matter where we go as long as it's somewhere different to where we've been? Who cares? It's still an experience, and still heaps fun.
I think in the last 6 months we've probably spent more time in the area of probably 300 kilometre radius of us than what we have further away from us, which is fine. There's still heaps of stuff here to see. That's what I said to Rihanna. We did a trip up to Harvey Bay just after Christmas as a test trip, and we started heading up the Bruce Highway, and I said, why are we going on the same road that we've been on 1,000 times? Why don't we go inland a bit and try something different?
So that's what we do now.
Yeah, so now every time we got to backtrack, we'll go somewhere we've been, we'll take a different road.
Yeah.
Where can our listeners find you guys then? What platforms are you on?
We're on Instagram and Facebook, and we are the Traveldeens, which is spelled a little bit funny, but you're going to put it on your screen, aren't you? Yeah. But our name is the Traveldeens because our surname is Basildeen, which is spelled a little bit funny. So we've sort of
kind of incorporated the two.
Yeah.
We didn't put a great deal of thought into it, actually. But
it's kind of annoying now because we've got to spell it out to everybody, but that's who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, that's all right. I just love seeing everyone's journeys, and that's why we do this.
Yeah, it's really cool when we rock up to a campsite or even the markets. The other day we met a lady who was they were a traveling family, and it's so cool to be able to say, who are you guys? And then you realise that you're following them, and you're like, yes, I know you.
Yeah.
I guess that's why we started this podcast. is we wanted to make friends, obviously, and then also share people's journeys and make friendships out there, because Australia is massive. So if the more people you can know, the more comfortably you're going to feel if you get to a campsite and you know someone already, and
definitely.
Yeah.
So you guys,
we run into.
Sorry,
pardon.
You guys said you were at Early Beach and all that.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Lifestyle Hustlers? Have you seen?
Yeah, actually, I drove past their car the other day, but I do follow them on there. I think I said to you yesterday, he's got a metal detector.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah, he did go out with his metal detector.
It was in my head. But yeah, they were pretty much at the same places that we were, just a few days behind. And then we were at Townsville at the same time, but then we've had to get home for some family stuff. So so we missed them.
Yeah, they actually are mentors.
Yeah, so they are mentors.
Really?
So I talk to them every day and stuff. And when you said the places where you've been, I'm like, oh, they've just been there. You must have seen them. The van has got everywhere as well. And but
I saw them the other day at Townsville. I drove past their car and I didn't even think, I was just driving along and I saw them and I was like, hey, no. They would have no idea who we were, but I was like, saw all their signage and stuff and just knew that I knew them.
They are mentors, so we're in business together. I have a question, and it's nothing to do with, well, it is to do with the podcast, but it's nothing you really need to answer.
Cool.
We're looking at making up some stickers for our traveling podcast, and then sort of saying like featured on the traveling podcast, Traveling Friends of Australia podcast.
You want to give that to?
We want to,
you guys.
Is that? Do you think that, from a traveler's perspective, is that something that people would put somewhere, or use as stickers, or is there anything else you guys would rather want?
We put it on ours.
Yeah,
we'd put it on. You do see quite a few of them, like the four-wheel drives and that kind of stuff. They've got all the upgrade, like the suspension upgrade and the bull bars and roof racks and all that. They put all the
things on
relative stickers on their windows to represent that. But you also, like, I don't know, I don't think I'd go and put a full big bumper sticker on my car unless it was my own logo or something, But
true.
If you had like
it'll only be like
sticker or something like
100 mil or 120 mil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're looking at printing those, and like we would actually stick them on our fridge freezer. So that's where we would stick stuff, because our fridge freezer is usually outside our. Obviously, when we I don't know, one of these days it's going to be different, but it'll always be like maybe in the back of our car as well, our fridge freezer. So I think so.
No, people would use them for sure.
Yeah, so we're looking at getting some of them. So
in South Africa, we used to have, like, that was a thing, like your caravan would have all these stickers of the places you've been or like people you've met.
Yeah. And a lot of people do. It's not uncommon. A lot of people have stickers from, or from what we've seen, there's people come down from the NT to see you in the NT stickers and Alice Springs and Big Red and all that like that. You do see them, and as travellers, you notice that stuff a lot more.
You do. You probably would
have noticed a caravan. I'm pretty sure every second car's got a caravan on behind it. So it's like when your wife's pregnant, everyone else is pregnant at the same time. So it's, when you got something like that, you see everyone else has got something like that.
Yeah, it's relatable to you for sure.
Yeah, but these stickers will probably be very elite. Only the people we featured on the podcast will have these stickers. So
that'd be cool.
Hand them out.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool.
They can pay $50.
Yeah. Make some money out of it.
You might as well.
Yeah. Well, that was all the questions we had. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome having you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
It's probably late.
I've checked out some of your been on your socials and stuff, and you guys have some great photo content. So who takes the photos?
Rihanna.
Me, I'm never in the photos.
Never. She doesn't like being in the photos, so I said to her, "Well, I don't mind, so you take the photos." And
I'm not as photogenic as the rest of my family, so I like to be behind the camera.
And I don't do it right, apparently, so she can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but they are good photos. I like it.
Thank
I don't
you.
like how he takes photos either, but I would like to be in the photos sometimes.
I whinge that I don't have photos, but when Lockie always says, "You get in the photo, I'll take it," and I'm like, "No, thank you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We struggle with that as well, but I normally take most of the photos because
I think it's just when we go, because obviously we don't do it full time yet. When we go on holiday,
yeah.
like our last time, I didn't even post anything while we were there because I was just like living in the moment. So even some moments I didn't take photos of, and now I'm like, oh, I should have taken a photo in that moment because it was so good. But now I didn't. So like,
we're still getting used to the whole thing of documenting everything. We're just living in the moment.
Yeah.
So
You'll see. I might post hardcore for a little bit, like if we're doing heaps of cool stuff. But I don't post really no one really wants to see my kids eating brekkie, and I don't know.
Everyone's kids eat brekkie, right? You want to watch mine?
But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I won't post for a week. I'm probably not very good at. I've actually got a background in marketing, and I probably don't really follow my own rules with being consistent with posting and stuff. But that's just not what it's about.
For marketing, are you? You're doing it for your.
Well, that's right. We're doing it for. I say to Rihanna all the time, how do I tag people on that? She said, "Don't worry about the followers. I'm doing it as a memory thing, and if people like it or love it, then that's great."
I'd rather be relatable for what we do than reaching out and trying to grab anybody
it's
and
not
then they're not
about
engaging anyway. So it's not really like what it's about for me, I guess.
Yeah, we've been like
and Lockie's not very savvy with social media, so he doesn't care.
No, I don't really have time for those. So I'm too busy getting in photos.
Posing.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, guys. That was great chatting to you.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having us. Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys on the road one day.
Yeah, no.
And
hopefully you get down soon then.